Hey y'all. Okay, we are going to, it's still a problem from 9.6. It actually let me zoom out. Pretty sure that was an accident. It's actually a problem from 9.6. It is towards the end of the homework, and I honestly just labeled it harder example because it did kind of just throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. No, it won't let me. Just get out of the way. There you go. Just gonna move it over there. Okay, so this is still from 9.6. Yeah, I gotta start over again. Okay, 9.6. Okay, this example looks like a fraction. You've got a bunch of math going on up top and a bunch of math going on at the bottom. Main goal is just kind of look at it as multiple little problems inside of a bigger problem, and that should help you solve this. Say our problem looks like this. Y'all, starting over. 9.6. So it's in the form of a fraction. We've got negative 46, and then this is times negative 2. So use your parentheses. And then we have negative, open parentheses, negative 16, close. Let's use our parentheses again to put a negative 2. So that negative 16 and that negative 2, they're multiplying each other. The negative 46 and the negative 42, they're multiplying each other. And then in the denominator, we have a negative 2 times 1, and we have negative 2 times 4. So I'm hoping that in your mind, you can kind of break this into 4 individual problems, because that's what I see. Okay, so let me help you see that. I'm going to, I'm going to scoot down to here. Okay, do my fraction bar. Now let me do a little bit lower. Do my fraction bar. And I'm going to look at the first 2 terms that are multiplying each other on the left-hand side of the numerator. That's the negative 46 and the negative 2. I'm going to just do the coefficients and get that product from their multiplication, and then I will look at the signs. 42 times 2. Why do I keep saying 42? 46 times 2 is 92. Their signs, negative and negative, those are the same. So my 92 is positive. And then I am going to bring this sign down right here. There's actually a couple different ways to solve this problem. So if you did see something else, it's not wrong. You could definitely text me and ask me, okay, or email me. Now let's look at the negative 16 and the negative 2. 16 times 2 is 32. These signs right here on my 16 and my 2, they're both negative. So they're the same, which means my 32 is positive. The negative sign that I have right here, is from right here in the original problem, right there, that numerator. Okay, now I've got the denominator to look at. If I do 2 times 1, I get 2. Signs are different, so it's negative. And then scooch on over there, I get 2 times 4, which is 8. These signs are also different because that's a positive, that's a negative, and right here there's a positive. Because there's not a negative, that means it's a positive, okay? So that means those signs are different, so my 8 is negative. Okay, so I can keep the original problem up here. actually going to move over here to the right, okay? So now, I mean, it's honestly just been order of operations so far. We just did the parentheses, which was our multiplication. You do them in pieces, pay attention to your signs. And then now in the numerator, I have 92, and then that's minus a 32. Your calculator will tell you that's 60. And then in the bottom, we have -2 and a -8. So this is what we did in the previous section. Actually, the top and the bottom are both what we did in the previous section. I'm going to say the numerator a little differently. What we did in when we were adding and subtracting real numbers is we would look and we would see, remember, if the signs were the same, you add and keep. Signs are different, you subtract, keep the sign of the larger, right? So this first part right here, I've got a positive 92 and I've got a negative 32. So that told me signs are different. So I subtract, I got 60, keep the sign of the larger, 92 is larger and it's positive, so my 60 is positive. Now let's look at our denominator. So it told me that if my signs are the same, these signs are the same, what it told me to do is add my numbers and keep my sign. So that's actually using the previous section in this problem. So hopefully it kind of reinforces it a little bit. Now, I'm still moving this way. If I do 60 divided by 10, because I'm just going to look at the numbers first. I'm not going to try to keep track of all the different signs and, well, which one was positive and which one was negative. Like that that's totally confusing. So I'm just going to look at the coefficients, 60 and 10, those terms, 60 and 10. 60 divided by 10 is 6. 6. Okay, now let's look at the signs. I got a positive and I got a negative. Signs are different, so it's negative. So if you need to refresh on the adding and subtracting, I know that the signs are similar-ish. When adding and subtracting, little guidelines that we had to follow were if signs were the same, add, keep sign. And then if signs were different, we subtracted. And we keep sign of the larger number. Now with multiplying and dividing, what we do is if you're multiplying two numbers together and they have the same sign, then our product would be positive. If you're dividing and they have the same sign, our quotient is positive. So if same sign, then we get positive. So an example of that is negative times a negative equals positive, and a positive times a positive equals a positive. Those are the same signs multiplying, you get a positive. And then the other guideline that we have is if our signs are different, we get a negative. So an example of that is if you have a negative times a positive, you get a negative. And if we have a positive times a negative, we get a negative. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to end this by writing an equation. So in the homework, it will tell you to write an equation And this is what it tells you. It says when, trying to zoom in just a little bit. It's not going to let me. Write an equation. Okay, when 15, I'm done moving it around. When 15 is divided by a number, the result is -3. What sticks out to me? What sticks out to me is 15 divided by a number, and result is -3. So result is -3. I'm writing an equation. Equations have equal signs. Result is -3. That sounds like an equal sign to me, right? So I would have equal -3. Okay, now let me keep on reading. When 15 is divided by a number, the homework will tell you to use X as your number. Okay, so I know we have a 15 and we have an X. There's my 15, this A number, that's my X, right? And what's happening? My 15 is being divided by this number. So 15 divided by a number, the result is -3. Okay, hopefully that made sense, y'all. If not, just let me know. Next, we'll be doing the properties of real numbers. Thanks. Bye.